In the summer of 1995, the waters surrounding Taiwan became a boiling point of geopolitical tensions. China mobilized its troops to the province of Fujian and initiated military exercises that vividly simulated an invasion across the 130-kilometer strait to Taiwan. These brazen displays were no mere exercises, they were a clear message of Beijing's intent and capability. The backdrop to this show of might was multifaceted. Taiwan's president, seeking a deeper international presence, pursued a U.S. visa. In a move that ruffled Beijing's feathers, the U.S. Congress granted this request, effectively challenging China's long-held territorial claim over Taiwan. To further the complexities, Taiwan was on the cusp of a historic milestone, its maiden democratic elections. From Beijing's perspective, these developments weren't just routine international affairs, they were direct affronts to its sovereign claims and its vision of a reunified China under its terms. However, as China's saber-rattling reached its peak, the narrative took an unexpected turn. Enter the United States not as a passive observer, but as a formidable counterweight. President Bill Clinton dispatched a powerful fleet including aircraft carriers, destroyers, and other military behemoths into the Taiwan Strait. This wasn't just a show of support for Taiwan, it was a clear, uncompromising message to Beijing. The U.S. stands mightily superior. Let Taiwan chart its own course. Behind this military face-off, Taiwan's broader narrative emerges, painting a picture of resilience, innovation, and global strategic importance. Recognized as the Republic of China, Taiwan has etched its identity not just in the annals of geopolitics, but also as a beacon in the semiconductor industry. Its role in the global economy is undeniable, and its flourishing existence, both economically and democratically, stands in stark contrast to China's developmental trajectory. With such intertwined destinies and the undeniable significance of Taiwan in the global arena, several critical questions come to the fore. Why is China so intent on invading Taiwan? What underpins Taiwan's immense strategic value to the USA? Is China truly capable of executing an invasion on Taiwan? What are the potential global ramifications if China were to seize Taiwan? And critically, with its current resources and international partnerships, can Taiwan stand its ground against a superpower like China? The intricate history between Taiwan and mainland China is a tapestry of wars, political upheavals, and shifting allegiances that stretches back centuries. Taiwan stands as an emblem of strategic importance, not only due to its historical significance, but also its unique position amidst two global superpowers. Historical records trace Taiwan's story back to the 17th century, when it was fully governed by China. However, by the end of the Sino-Japanese War in 1895, it found itself under Japanese rule. China reasserted its dominance post-World War II, but the subsequent Civil War, which saw Chiang Kai-shek's nationalists pitted against Mao Zedong's communists, dramatically altered the landscape. With the communists claiming victory in 1949, the nationalists retreated to Taiwan, establishing a governance that endures in some forms to this day. China bases its claim on Taiwan by referencing this history. Yet Taiwan counters this by asserting that they were never truly integrated into the modern Chinese state, particularly post-1911, nor the People's Republic of China established in 1949. This contention has international implications. Only a sparse group comprising 13 countries and the Vatican officially recognize Taiwan. China's diplomatic clout discourages broader global recognition. China doesn't merely covet Taiwan due to historical or cultural ties. China's desire to commandeer Taiwan is partly fueled by its potential strategic dominance in the Pacific, which would not only bolster its military footprint but also disrupt the US's island chain strategy. Beyond these strategic implications, Taiwan's control would also hand China the reins over pivotal Asian shipping routes, further strengthening its geopolitical influence. On the economic front, Taiwan's allure is palpable. In 2021, its GDP neared US $790 billion. Though it might seem dwarfed against China's monumental $17.5 trillion, Taiwan's economy remains a vibrant and lucrative prospect for China. The socio-cultural ties between China and Taiwan add another layer to this complex tapestry. China sees the current separation as a historical scar and hopes for a peaceful reunification. However, their documents underscore a willingness to employ force if circumstances demand. Going beyond Taiwan's relationship with China, the USA also takes a keen interest in the island. Why? Well, Taiwan holds many cards that the USA values. It's not just about the USA trying to balance China's power. Their bond with Taiwan is built on many things: business ties, believing in democracy, and the bigger picture of global politics. Historically, the US has always supported countries that value freedom and democracy, so they see Taiwan as a shining example in an area where many countries don't have free systems. Economically, Taiwan is a powerhouse in the semiconductor industry and essential pillar for the digital age. In simple terms, think of Taiwan as the world's tech wizard, especially when it comes to creating tiny chips that make our devices work. About 60% of these chips come from Taiwan, and when you look at the super advanced ones, they make over 90% of them. Coined as Taiwan's Silicon Shield, the semiconductor industry not only underscores its economic might, but also serves as a geopolitical shield, prompting the global community to rally behind the island's security. Furthermore, with numerous collaborative endeavors between Taiwanese entities and their American peers, the bond between the two nations deepens, cementing a partnership grounded in mutual economic benefits. Geopolitically, Taiwan is like a watchtower in the Pacific. It acts as a safety buffer and gives the U.S. a key spot to be closer to important regions. The island is close to major sea routes, which are like highways for ships. Keeping these routes free and open is important for the U.S. and its Navy. In simple terms, Taiwan isn't just a dot on the world map. For the U.S., it's like a close friend with shared beliefs, business ties, and an important position in the big Pacific region. Now, addressing the major point of concern that has the world watching with bated breath, is China in a position to launch an assault on Taiwan? In recent times, especially last fall, the situation around Taiwan has seen a lot of changes. Over the last 2 decades, China has been more openly displaying its power against Taiwan. One way they show this is by flying their military planes close to Taiwan, in a special area called the Air Defense Identification Zone, or ADIZ. This zone is meant for planes to identify themselves so they're not seen as threats. Instead of adhering to these protocols, Chinese aircraft have made undeterred frequent sorties into this zone, sometimes multiple times a day. Actual flight path records reveal that these aren't just random overflights, but a deliberate attempt by China to mark its presence and underscore its dominance. Significantly, there was a remarkable upsurge in these incursions around the time China was commemorating its foundational anniversary. During this period, a state-owned Chinese publication brazenly declared a message for Taiwan emphasizing the island's inevitable unification with mainland China. As things got more tense, the world watched closely. In a move that reminded many of past events, the U.S. sent missile-carrying ships through the waters near Taiwan. They were joined by Canadian ships, showing that they still want to keep peace in the area. In recent times, the U.S. tried an old move. They sent ships close to Taiwan, hoping it would make China think twice. But this time, China reacted differently. Instead of slowing down, they sent even more planes flying into Taiwan's ADIZ every day. The evolution of China's stance toward Taiwan is pivotal for understanding the current geopolitical landscape. Reflecting on the past, it's evident that China's reaction to external influence in the 1990s is starkly different from its more recent posture, signaling a profound shift in China's strategic confidence and military capability. Let's imagine a situation. What if China decided that the only way to bring Taiwan closer was to launch an attack? It might start with Chinese planes flying over Taiwan, something they've done before, but this time, those planes might turn and attack Taiwan. At the same time, missiles from China could target important places in Taiwan like their radars and government buildings. But Taiwan isn't without its defenses. They have places hidden underground and missile sites that are hard to spot. Taiwan might strike back, attacking military places in China. They'd also prepare for Chinese soldiers to come onto their beaches by setting traps. This quick action would surprise many countries, including the U.S., and with technology today, China has tools that can disrupt communication. This makes it hard for other countries to see what's happening and decide how to help. While all this happens, a huge number of Chinese soldiers and equipment would be heading to Taiwan. And with so many coming, Taiwan's defenses on the beaches might be overwhelmed. For countries like the US, the situation is tricky. Do they jump in to help Taiwan? This isn't just a military question, but also about what people in the US think, their friendships with other countries, and the big worry about two powerful countries with nuclear weapons fighting. Thinking about this situation helps us see how important Taiwan is. What happens there doesn't just affect Taiwan and China, but can influence many countries around the world. In the strategic calculus of the Pacific, a critical question that many ponder is, can Taiwan truly hold its ground against the behemoth that is China? The prospect of a successful invasion by China is less certain than one might expect. China might need to deploy at least 500,000 soldiers to ensure success. The sheer geographical and physical challenges posed by Taiwan make such an operation formidable. The 200-kilometer stretch of ocean separating Taiwan from mainland China is more than a mere watery divide. It's a significant tactical barrier. Given the easily defendable terrain of Taiwan and the vast oceanic gap, It remains ambiguous whether China possesses the operational capability to mount such a massive invasion, especially when met with stiff resistance. However, it would be naive to underestimate China's military prowess. With a defense budget of approximately $290 billion in 2022, standing second only to the U.S., China has heavily invested in cutting-edge weaponry like the J-20 stealth fighter, hypersonic missiles, and an expanding fleet of aircraft carriers. Their ambivalence towards Russia's actions in Ukraine and their refusal to condemn it have raised eyebrows worldwide, intensifying concerns over their intentions towards Taiwan. Given China's substantial military enhancements, particularly in missiles and amphibious ships crucial for a Taiwan Strait crossing, the balance of power seemingly tilts in China's favor. Nonetheless, it's plausible that China might pursue non-military avenues for reunification, such as intensifying economic ties. In a potential military standoff, China's colossal armed forces would undoubtedly overshadow Taiwan's. Although much of China's military strength is dispersed, the sheer scale disparity between the two is evident. To encapsulate, as of now, it's pretty obvious that a full-scale invasion might not be China's go-to strategy. They could lean on tactics like economic pressures or blockades to persuade Taiwan. While we always hope for peaceful solutions, it's essential to stay ready for any turn of events. In summary, Taiwan's situation is complex, and with global politics at play, nothing is set in stone.